Hello, welcome to the 9th exercise in my before and after challenge. This time we're looking at converting images to black and white. Hello, welcome to IAnsstudio. I'm Ian Butterfield, and welcome to this 9th exercise in my before and after challenge. Today we're going to look at converting images to black and white. And I want to just deal with a few of the techniques very briefly and then set you on your way to do your own conversion and to post your own findings to my Facebook group. If you don't know where the Facebook group is, have a look in the link down below this video. Right, so I'm over in Lightroom here, and what you need for this exercise is a scenic landscape image. Now, I'd like to encourage you to go out and shoot one if you can. I'm using one from my back catalogue. This is an image taken in the Canary Islands, and it is, if I pull up the metadata on here, it's the view from Roque de los Muchachos, and that is in La Palma, one of the Canary Islands in Spain. So having got your image, head into the develop module, and what I want you to do first of all is to develop it as a colour image and do the appropriate changes on there. So on mine, I've got the shadows are quite dark, so I'm just going to lift them slightly. I'm just going to give it a touch of contrast, very, very little on there. In fact, no, I will leave the contrast as it is, and that's round about it. I want some minimal changes, just enough that you need on here. And looking at my histogram, that all fits in there. So that's first image. So I'm going to save that as a snapshot, and plus, and I will call that color. There, and now I am going to convert the image to black and white, but I'm going to use probably the worst method, but I want to include it in the list to show you what it does, and that is quite simply just to bring down the saturation to 0, -100. And that gives you a black and white image, but it's not the best way to do a conversion. So do that, and I'm going to create another snapshot. So plus, and this is desaturated. Create. Next, I'm just going to undo that change by double-clicking on the word saturation. For my next attempt at this, I'm just going to go black and white up at the top. We'd think that should be a good option. That will do an automatic conversion, and using that, I can then come down here and I can control it a little bit using the individual colours. So for example, the orangeness that's in there, I can lighten that up, and you see how that gets a little bit lighter on there, and I can darken the blue and the aqua just to sort of darken and put some detail in the sky. So that is going to be snapshot number 3, which is going to be just black and white sliders. Let's create that one. And now I shall reset all that by double clicking on there. And over in basic, I'll go to color, and I think that was all I did with that. So now the final one, which is more the recommended approach, is to look at the profiles that are available in Lightroom. And if we go down and look at the black and white ones, we can sort of hover over these to find one that looks the most convincing for what we want. So at the moment, black and white 7 is looking quite good on here. So I'm going to go with black and white 7 as being my profile. Now I'll close that, and now on top of that I can use the contrast and clarity sliders to give it a bit more punch. So increasing the clarity, maybe just a little bit on the contrast. Don't want to lose too much detail in the shadows. I could just afford to bring the shadows up a fraction, but I can also go to those black and white sliders, darken the blue a little bit, darken the aqua just a touch, and I would say that is my conversion. So let's create another snapshot, and this one is profile plus sliders. And so now what we can do is we can step through each of these to see the difference between them. So let's start with our color image. Then we went to just desaturating it, which is a little bit insipid. Then we tried just selecting black and white and using the sliders, which is an improvement, but using the profiles plus the sliders plus contrast gives us that, which is the much better image for this. So the exercise this week is to go out, shoot a landscape, and I want you to process it to black and white in those 4 different ways. First of all, do a straightforward, simple color processing. So we've got that as the benchmark. Desaturated, then use just simple black and white with the color sliders, and then use a profile plus color sliders plus contrast and clarity. And for each of those, I've done them as snapshots, but you could do them as virtual copies. Save each of those out and post them to the Facebook group. Now, I've done it all in Lightroom. Other editing software is available. And what I would suggest, if you don't use Lightroom, if you use Photoshop, you're fine. You can use the ACR filter on there to do that kind of conversion. If you're using something like Affinity, then just have a play around with the options which are available in there for black and white conversion, and try out just desaturating, try any specific black and white tools that they've got, and then post those images and do it that way. So I hope you're finding the exercises helpful. I'm certainly enjoying seeing them in the Facebook group. So until next time, thanks for watching and keep making great images. Bye for now.